Hey y'all, this is Men Suffering in Silence, coming back with another topic. What we talking about today, fellas?
Listen, we are talking about beneficiaries, right? So this is a sticky one, right? So say for instance, here's a scenario. I'm gonna set it up for you.
Set the story.
You're married, right? You both have kids, but they're not with each other. Who is the beneficiary? Do you make your spouse the beneficiary and just hope that they do the right thing and take care of what needs to be taken care of, and maybe even eventually break your kids off with something if there is enough to do that? Or do you do a policy for your significant other and then one for your children? So I guess this would be more of an aspect of trust, right?
To some degree, yes. You want to jump in there, mister? Let them know?
I'm still trying to process it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, first of all, the name of this show is called Men Suffer in Silence.
Sure.
So the key is, I don't want to suffer in silence on this one. My wife, man. I'm throwing in my wife's name. I'm going to, the reason she's my wife is because I trust her decision making. I trust her as a partner. Well, see, I believe that if you get into a relationship with somebody, and it's a marriage, I'm not talking about a 1 day, 1 year marriage, like you're in it, you're knee deep in it, you plan on being together forever, then hopefully we're going to be the ones that have the pillow talk. We're going to discuss hey, if I wasn't here, this is what I would want, things of that nature. So I'll probably, I will, and I do have my wife as beneficiary, but I also have some contingencies and some written down things that are going to be that she'll have to do as well. Like there will be policies in place where you get this money or you get these items, but it has to be split with, to make sure the children are taken care of as well. But she will have the lion's share of the control. Thank you, America. And this way, I'm not a man suffering in silence.
What up, Lucko?
Well,
Tough one.
it is a tough one, number one, because I never thought about that.
Okay.
Well,
Hey, that's what we're here for.
In my marriage, we had policies, but I had nothing in place to say, leave this to my boys. Because I guess, I assume she would do the right thing. Just like you were saying earlier. I would assume that. So I never really thought that. I feel like I missed out on that.
Do you think
or my kids would have missed out.
Do you think that the right thing to you is the same right thing to her?
No. And I feel like
We're getting $40 a week.
probably
Or
not.
$40.
Probably not either.
What?
Now that I'm thinking about it, that's terrible. But I never really thought about that.
Yeah. Because in some situations you have where, and I was in that, where your wife may not like one of your kids. So now she has control. I don't know. I mean, if I could,
Go ahead.
me myself, I would have 2 policies. And the reason for that is not so much because I wouldn't trust who I'm with to do the right thing. The right thing according to what I would feel would be the right thing. I would have 2 policies just because I wouldn't want to put that significant other through that. I don't want them to have to be in a position to make that choice, right?
You mean like it's going to be tough for them to do it because they're going to be getting pressure or something?
That and
Emotional distress?
that and the fact that you never know what people will or will not do. So I want to take that whole element out of it.
So wait though. It all depends on why we're getting this policy and how much we can afford. Because is a policy really a cash out? Or is it to put you in the ground?
No. That depends on what you like. My policy that I had from now is going to make my kids going to definitely pay for them to do anything they got to do for the most part. Probably give them a house or two.
Right, but you're paying for that.
Yep.
The average person just want to be able to
Get in the
put
dirt?
this person in the ground.
No, I'm not going to ground. I want to be donated to science. Don't waste no money on me when I'm dead.
But I'm saying, whatever the case may be, though. I mean,
Depends on
funeral
how
can
much-
go $20,000.
You think that? So hold up, I'm a little lost here. You're saying that there's no policy for anything to leave to anybody, it's just mainly to bury you?
No, that is the question. I mean, you can get $1 million policy, right? But who could afford that? At what cost every month? And this person lived for 20 years.
Let's just say $100,000 policy.
$100,000 policy.
It's pretty. Some jobs even give you that kind of stuff.
But I heard with a job though, like if you was to quit, get fired, end of that, that's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, normally it's usually for career jobs that you're not, and, that jobs that most people plan on staying unless something goes way. How you getting paid?
Things happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Things
I mean,
happen.
if you get $1 million policy and you can't pay for it because something happens, it's the same difference.
So
I mean, if you get a whole life policy, I guess you could cash back out some of that, but you won't get the whole thing back.
So okay. So let's just say I'm a father and I got 5 kids.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And I put a policy on each one of them.
Right.
Are you putting $1 million policy on each kid?
I mean, if that's what you can afford.
It depends on what you can afford right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
When the average person, I got 5 kids, I need a $20,000 policy, enough to put them in the ground, just in case. Because, I mean, I've known someone who had to borrow money because they didn't have a policy on their teenage son.
What do you mean a policy to bury your kid?
I thought that's what we were talking about.
He's saying.
No, I never thought. I'm like John Q. You ever seen the movie John Q?
Yeah.
I will not bury my kid. My kid will bury me. I've never even thought about something happening to my kid. Ever. Never crossed my mind.
Well,
I can't even. I can't.
So am I crossing the line?
I think I thought you talking about us. Like,
yeah, no,
like something happens to you, which
us.
you're leaving for your kids, right?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Yeah, us as in us, not
Right.
so much the kid.
Yeah, I've never thought of that ever.
Yeah, but I I feel like I'm still saying the same thing. Yeah, I answered that part, far as my wife or whatever, my ex at the time. Would she do the right thing? I never really thought about that. But I'm saying as far as like policies on your kids.
Wow, never thought of that.
So
You don't have a policy on your kid?
No, not at all.
I have a policy on both of my
yeah,
sons.
I've
been had it.
on the kids.
And I think it's not $1 million. You know what I mean? It's like $25,000 just to put them in the ground if something was to happen, so you don't get caught short.
Yeah.
I'm in a position where if something happened to me, I could cover it, but I just don't plan for them to pass. I don't. I honestly don't.
Well,
I can't even think of that.
But
Can't fathom it.
But see, that's the crazy part.
Because you never know.
Well, because I had a child to pass. You remember?
Right.
And you kind of never plan for that, because it really shouldn't happen in theory.
You definitely could.
So
Right.
you can't plan for that, but
You never know
you do
nowadays.
it just
The
in
world
case.
is crazy.
I've always felt this way about insurance in general, whether
Right.
it be life, car, or whatever. I always tell everybody as far as insurance, even though they are some of the biggest crooks, but I always said this: insurance is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
100%.
And that's kind of where I stand at it. Now, there's been certain situations, my jobs, usually my jobs that I've worked were able to add that into, you can pay it out of your salary, whatever the case may be. But as far as making it a situation to where it's a cash out, on my kids, I didn't set it up to where it would be so much a cash out. Where if something happened to my kids, I would get rich.
Just cover expenses.
I just want to be able to do what I have to do. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I believe that the policies that I would have on myself would be able to put people in position to make sure that A, I don't leave any debt. 2, be able to see to some sense. I'm not saying $1 million because I don't have that, but if I would never want to pass away and leave anybody my debt.
Wait. What do you mean when you say debt? Because if it's your debt and it's in your name,
it passes on. It passes on.
I didn't have that situation with my dad.
Yep, consider yourself lucky. Because I had...
He had major debt?
He had a house. He had a whole lifestyle. Yeah.
Did you get to keep the house?
Yeah.
So, but you had equity in the house, so you're able to sell the house
Correct.
and then get the money back and pay off the difference.
But see,
Pay off the, correct.
So if he had a house, I'm just making up, just for the sake of the conversation, making up a number, $500,000 house. He owed $500,000 on this house. It was no equity. Then you would have probably lost the house. You wouldn't have got anything from it. But if you had equity, then it's like that's like almost like a house is a policy in itself if it has equity. If you got let's say if you had a $200,000 house and you only owe $80,000 on it, that's $120,000 just sitting there.
Right.
So that's a policy in itself.
yeah. So and like I went through that with my grandmother. She didn't have any debt. She did pretty good. So it was all man, I hate to say it like this, but when she passed,
She was liquid.
it was all
Right.
was all profit,
Right.
in a sense. When my father passed away, it was all debt, and I was the next of kin.
They came at you?
Let us know, man. Let us know in the comments. I didn't have to go through that with my dad. Like I said, I paid his debt while he was still living. But as soon as he passed and I sent them that information, yeah, I was free and clear.
Yeah,
He was free and clear.
It depends on
Depending
certain things.
Yeah, certain debts,
Certain
death certificate frees you from.
Yes. Yeah.
But certain things, it goes to next of kin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And they might try to go to their next of kin. They ain't coming there to you.
Yeah. Like
loan sharks almost.
right. Stuff like say for instance, if they owe taxes themselves, that's a them thing. If they owe taxes on the house that you're about to get, that's a you thing.
That's probate.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's how kind of things work out for me. I learned a lot actually between my father and my grandmother's death. I learned a lot, especially with insurances. And that's what kind of made me start to look and say, okay, when I leave, I don't want to, I got a brand new truck. If I die tomorrow, I want to be able to say, hey, who I put in place will be able to, either pay that truck off and keep it or figure something out. I don't want it to where it goes back and then the next thing you know, my next of kin or my estate, my executive of estate has to now deal with that as a debt. So it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. So that's why I say, for me, separate policies. Like the initial policy, I would want to have the bigger policy I would want to have for my significant other to have, so she would be able to pay off what needs to be paid off, any debt that I've had or that we have together, and then still have enough to be able to do some things, right? My kids, which would be a significantly smaller policy, I would want to have for them to just kind of, just to have almost kind of like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you always leave a lion's share. Like, if I could just say, if I put it into amounts, my significant other, $100,000. My kids split this $50,000 policy.
Right.
Something like that. That's how I would do it. That's how.
But if we got any financial professionals watching, maybe you could call in one day. We could do a little something. We talk about that to keep us from, our families from suffering, or us from suffering in silence when something happens. But I know one thing that I've been setting up that I think is a good idea for people is a trust.
Yeah.
You help a trust like a third party. That way you don't have to pay taxes on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get an executive to execute your stuff when you pass. And I'm ready to do a video like what's that movie with Richard Pryor? When his uncle got him the money.
Oh, Brewster's Millions.
Brewster's Millions.
My favorite movie in the world.
Yeah, one of my favorites too. Yeah, I might sit down and do a whole video, and then do it like he did in the movie.
Yeah.
Hey, stop fidgeting your foot. Tell me something. And then
somebody help me in that closet with all them cigars.
Right. You're not getting a damn thing if you don't finish college. Like, I'm just going to talk to them like they there.
I gotta say this, my man Lucky is lost because he's not a movie buff like me.
You never seen Bruce's Millions?
So he has no idea. Even if he saw it, he probably has no idea what scene we're talking about because he's not a movie buff.
That's almost like required reading. I guess required movie watching, I guess.
Real quick, and for those out there that don't know, Bruce's Million, Richard Pryor played in it, and basically what it was, he had this rich uncle that he never knew nothing about that died. Bruce's Million, Brewster, that was his name, could inherited $300 million. But the only,
It was either 30 or 300.
Yeah, no, it was 30. Yeah, no, it was 30. No, it was 300. No. This is what he had to do, though. No, it was 3. It was 3.
3?
Yeah, because check it out. See, I know this movie like the back of my head. He inherited $300 million. But the only way he can get the $300 million is he had to spend $30 million without owning anything in 30 days.
Right.
If he could do that,
Right.
he would get the $300 million without 30 days without owning anything on your 31st on your 31st day.
And it had certain percentages we could go to. 5% to gambling, 5%.
But you couldn't own nothing.
And then the WIMP clause.
But
You're
the
right.
WIMP
3.
clause was
$1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah, forgot about it. You're right. What would you take?
Sound like a good movie.
It was. Actually. It was.
No, it's a classic, man.
It was.
If you don't make it in 30 million and anybody finds out you do it, you don't get nothing.
You don't get nothing.
What we come out? 86.
Yeah,
I watched it I didn't watch it live in the movie theater.
yeah. Nah, I'm just saying. You would have took the $1 million?
Yeah, I'm a safety dude because I'm like, yo, it's a chance. I don't want to give away the movie, but you could lose the whole thing and not get nothing. And
Give away the movie. The came out in 87.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for a movie that came out in 1987.
Yo, y'all wow.
But look, $1 million is safe. Even today, even though $1 million now isn't what it was then, I could do a lot with a free $1 million coming my way right now. That could be good. I would hate to put myself under that type of stress and turmoil and then not even get to keep the money.
I'm going hard, bro.
I'm going hard. You going hard to pay?
30 million. 30 days.
Well,
$1 million a day.
30 million ain't that hard now.
No, it is hard, though.
That's good.
You want to know why it is hard? Because keep in mind, you can't own anything.
And you can't let anybody know what you're doing.
And you can't let nobody know what you're doing. So you have to literally waste $1 million a day. Literally waste. You cannot give it away. You can't give it away. You got to get something in return.
Right.
Whether it's a service or whatever, but you can't give it away.
It looked so ridiculous. But it was the whole plan was he wanted to make you sick if you take the whole if you win the 300, he wanted to make sure you're sick of spending money. So you hold on to it well.
It was a great
movie. You got to watch it.
And suffer in silence.
Hey, what? That was a great movie, that Suffered in Silence.
He was actually
nobody can know.
Because nobody can know.
And
you see that?
You can see the stress on his face in the movie. It was great.
How late?
Listen, I'm Roscoe Squeeze Off. This is Rich Blackman, and this is Lucky Let Him Know. And you need to call in and tell Lucky Let Him Know
how good that movie was
and what you need to do. What he need to do.
Peace.
You have a right to remain silent because when a man opens his mouth to put sound on his emotions, it's usually perceived as violence. Anything a man says can and will be used against him for future disputes, arguments, humiliation, and manipulation. Put a bat signal in the air and let him know he can't win. You have a right to an attorney, but there's nobody out there willing to defend, willing to lose a case or lose face that will help comprehend the struggles of a man. A man is silent because he's silenced and can afford to be ignored. So he continues to provide for himself when asked, "How you doing, brother?" It's a disguised, "I'm good." You know me. The world calls it toxic masculinity. If everything I say will be held against me on a scroll of social media deficiencies, then I choose to remain quiet or suffer in silence. So in order to keep his status, even though his appreciation is depleting right before his face, but he's a man, born and destined to overcome, so he moves forward at a steady pace. In every decision, in the presence of God, heaven and earth bears record. He's silent because he's listening for the Most High's voice. He's quiet because he doesn't have time to complain. It's a choice. He understands his right to speak, yet he remains suffering silently. How else can he want and leave a legacy of righteousness? How else will his family remember his name?